Hi, this is Aziz Khan. Uh, in this video, I will give you some demonstration on multipath because I was getting a lot of feedback that multipath should be described. So I will just give you some feedback on multipath. Basically, in this video, we will see that generally in what kind of area we should be more concerned about multipath and in what kind of area we should not be a lot of concerned about multipath, because even though multipath is a very important thing, but it depends more on what kind of terrain you have. Every terrain does not have multipath, because if you have some water body or some flat surface, then the chance of multipath are much more. So like I get some um, questions from some of the users, and they share with me some coordinates, and when I checked those coordinates, it was not very, you can say it, the area was not very much flat. So if your area is not flat, then you should not consider going into multipath with a lot of detail. You can just check the multipath. So let me show you. Let me give you a brief. Let me make another link so that, for example, I just made this link and I go to terrain data, generate profile. Now you see this profile. From this profile, I can see that there are no flat surfaces. And let me do one more thing just to show you that, for example, you make a backdrop, so there is no surface, like there is no river or a stream, or so you should not be too much concerned. But let's go in multipath, let's see. So this is our network. It shows very simply that there should not be any multipath. I should put simple antenna heights. Okay, now you should define your plane. Define the plane. Okay, mark reflection points. You can see here that there is no big reflection. These are single points. These are not, there is no big surface, because if you have a reflection surface and if the surface is coming somewhere near the middle of the link, then it's more dangerous for you. But these are some points. Every terrain has points. So we go to multipath, side to antenna height. Okay, we have a tower of 30 meter. So even though if you see here, this ray is reflecting from here and it's almost hitting, but this is a single ray hitting your and it's not directly hitting, it's missing the antenna, but this will not give you any problem. So like I told you that this link, it feels from the terrain that it will not have any multipath effect. So if you have this kind of terrain, generally you can check multipath. It's a good idea to check multipath, but and whenever if you are checking multipath, then do remember to check it from both the sides. Checking from a single side is not good. So from the other side, I change the sides. So from other side, I can see there is no multipath. So here if we see this site 2 antenna height gain, it's showing that there are some effects of multipath, but these effects are on lower heights. Like for example, if you keep the antenna between almost 7 to 16, 17 meter, then you can have some multipath issues. But if you go above 17 meter, the range that we were in, we were in 30 meter, you will not have any problem on 30 meter. So the multipath, generally multipath has no big effect on this kind of terrain where you don't have any big reflection points. And when you have this kind of problem, you don't have to go to the second method. One method of tracing is enough for you. The second method is not giving you any further thing. So as I told you, we have seen that if you have area which is not flat, then generally you don't have any multipath in that area. I had made this one link as a test link. I made it yesterday just to. Now let me make that why I have chosen this area. If you see this, now this link is crossing a water body. So this is a typical link where you should be thinking about multipath. Okay, I have to cross a water body. So multipath may become a problem for me. So these kind of links are where you should be much more you should give more emphasis to multipath. It's not required that there is exactly water body in between. If you are in a very flat surface, if the area is flat and the area is not green, like it's some desert area or a developed area where you don't have a lot of trees, because trees also they stop your multipath, because it's very simple logic that because generally we cross the trees from the upside. I mean that the antennas, the towers are higher than the trees, so your main path is going without crossing the trees, so main path are going fine. But because your multipath will be reflected from the ground, so they should be hitting the trees at least twice. Once when they are going towards the ground, they will hit the trees, and when from ground they are going again up, they will be hitting the trees. So trees have a good amount of diffraction loss. Depending on the thickness of the forest, if you have a forest, and if the forest is very thick, then you can have absolutely no multipath, because the ground waves will all be absorbed by the trees. So it was just to give you an idea. Let's go in detail. Multipath. So this plane is already defined, but just to make sure. Okay. Now here you see this from this side and from this side. You have a reflection, constant reflection, which is increasing, which is on from side 2 to side A and from side A to side B. This is a water body which I showed you in the picture. This is something that you should be taking care that okay, now I have a real multipath case. This case I have to check very thoroughly. So I go in. I have put 50 meter antenna tower height, and here you can see this, that I have very strong multipath, a lot of things coming here, and then they are going towards the antenna. So here I can see that. Now here also you see one good thing, that this antenna height gain shows you that on some of the heights, like for example, if your height is 36 meter, you will have a 16 dB of loss, and almost same loss will be again on almost 42 meter, and then almost on 48 meters. So the height that we have right now, this height don't have a lot of loss right now, but as we know that the height is not very much precise because of the availability on tower and other things. So, and you see one good thing is that, for example, if you are in on almost 34 meter, so you will have a gain in signal. It will not be a loss, it will be a gain in the signal. So this pattern is giving you almost a 5 dB gain on positive side and a 16 dB loss because of multipath. Because multipath should not always give you a loss, because multipath is based on positive and negative construction of different waves. So this can give you some extra things as well. But the good thing we see that if we go below 30 meter, then there is no effect. Even this water body, it will have no effect of multipath. So from this height gain, we can see that what kind of multipath issues we are having. So again, we should reverse the profile. When we reverse, we again see that multipath is hitting the reverse side as well. Okay. Again we go antenna gain. Here also we see that there is on the reverse side as well, from 4 dB to almost 16 dB. You can have a gain of 4 dB if you put it on 40 meters, and you can have a loss of 16 dB. So I will, because when you see these kind of pictures, you can have a wrong concept as well. Maybe you can think that why not we put it here, because if we put the antenna here, then we will have a height gain. We will have a gain in the received signal because of this antenna height. But do remember that based on your atmospheric condition, the K value, it changes a lot during between day and nights. You don't have a constant K value, so you don't have to put your tower height on a place where you can have a lot of possible changes. Always try to put it in this straight line. Like for example, I will again recommend here 30 meter. You can go even less than that. It depends upon your tower size. You can go to 20 meter or 30 meter. So on both the sides, we can change the height. So for example, I change this height to 20 meter and I change this height to 20 meter. Okay. And now I go back to multipath, revise antenna, yes. Options, define plane. Okay. Now I ask it to antenna height is 30 meters, height 1 antenna height is 30 meters. Okay. Now operation on this 30 take, we don't know why, take 300. Okay, I don't know why by mistake I put 30 and it took 300. That's why I was just wondering that what kind of very strange picture we saw in between. And even there is set 25 to 37 is 30 meter. Okay. I had made this link as let me move. Okay. It's better that you always define plane again and again. I mean, defining plane is always a good idea. Again, we should mark reflection points. We find the same reflection points that we have. They are a bit more flatter now. So now side to antenna height we want to go to, okay, I put 30 so it becomes 300. So now you see when we go down, we took both the antennas down. Even there is a water body, it's a big water body. It's almost in the middle. Like we saw that the water body is in the middle. You can check from here. This is one and second antenna. The water body is a big body. If you see the length, it's almost 30% of the length maybe. And it's almost in the middle, which means, this is kind of myth. Generally, we don't make a link of this type where a water body is coming in between, but this is a suggestion or a point for you that if because the people who are working in Gulf or if you're making a link which is where you have to cross a water body, what we do generally, what I know also, I mean, you can say this is what we learned from sayings of the big gurus, that don't try to make a link which cross the water body. That's fine in some ways, because right now we are just looking at one side of multipath. We are not looking at the ductings and these kind of things, because when there's a water body, then chance of ducting also increase. And generally, why it's called to why we want to avoid water bodies, mostly because of ducting, not because of multipath. Because here you see that multipath can be very easily avoided. You just lower the antenna heights and you avoid the multipath. It will take the antenna upwards. As much as you take it upwards, you will get, like we see in this as well. It's up to 30 meters, so it's showing a very beautiful result. But if I take it to bigger value, like I say that I want to make it up to 70 meters. Okay, now let's see. Hopefully we will have something. No, because one side is very low. So if one side is very low, then even if we are higher on the other side, it will not make, because if you see from this height, uh, the terrain on this side, it's stopping the antenna to hit the water. So the water is there, but very few, no ray is hitting the water. And like I said, that whenever you do this, always remember to reverse. Okay, from reverse side also we are fine. And from reverse side also, we can see that there is no problem. So what we learn from this about multipath, that if you have a multipath problem, then you can make it, you can say, a kind of you can write it as your guideline, that if you have a multipath problem, at least one side should be very low. So for example, if you have a links, then make one link side very low if possible, and if possible take both sides to very low, because these things depend a lot on your line of sight criteria and other things, because this we are doing very crude type of planning. I don't have exactly the line of sight issues. Maybe there is some building in between, there is some tree structure, a big tree structure, for example. Like from this picture, we see that this is very green area. And because there is no clutter data in I don't have a clutter right now. I'm just working on the elevation data. So, for example, if because of clutter data, for example, if we know that there is something in between, there is some trees here. So there's a range of structures of trees, and this range has very high tree, 70-meter high trees. They are going from here to till here. Okay. So now if we have to pass this structure, then here in multipath it will not give us any problem, because multipath has no problem from the trees, but these trees will give you a big loss here. If you see this refraction loss, you have a 12 dB refraction loss because of these trees. So generally we don't have these much big trees, 70-meter high trees, but I'm just giving you an idea that that's why I have emphasized a lot of times that when you are doing something, then you must take care of everything in between. And for multipath, the best option is to take the towers, to take the antenna down as much as possible. Take the antenna down and you will avoid multipath. But yes, take the antenna down, and if the area is good for ducting, then it may be hit more, because if you want to add space diversity, then you don't have any free area behind under your antenna, because you're already very low. So when you are planning a link, you should take care of a lot of things. You should not just take care of one aspect, but here, because we were just talking about one aspect of things, we are just talking about the multipath. So in the multipath, Uh, the solution is very simple. That you have multipath, just go down. So like I show you in this, here you see that because one antenna is on 20 meter, so you can put second antenna anywhere, almost anywhere. You can put second antenna on the height of from zero, not zero, from 12 meter to 50 meter you can. So if one side is low, then other side can go a bit higher. So that is how you adjust your link, that if there is something in between and you must pass that thing, so you can adjust from the antenna heights. So I hope this video should give you some good idea on multipath, because multipath is very complex, you can say a very detailed subject. So I will make it in chunks. I will add more and more videos on multipath. I will show you more scenarios. If you have any specific scenario that you want to share, if you can send me the coordinates that you are working with and you are having some trouble, then you can share it with me and I can make a video on your coordinates so that it becomes easy for you to understand. But still, I hope you should like this video and it should give you at least some idea of learning multipath. So see you in the next video. Keep watching, sharing my video, and I will ask again that please give some comments or give some suggestions from your side that how you want me to take it further, because from my side whatever will come to my mind I will share. But if you are in some practical scenario, if you are having some trouble, then it's better that you share with me so that I can provide you an exact help. So see you in my next video. Enjoy your time. Okay, bye.